Ladies and gentlemen, friends and foes, lovers of dry bar, lovers of comedy, welcome. This is a live stream. Sorry to interrupt. We're here live at the Dry Bar Studios right here. You see the background? Vibrant, very blue, picks up the blue in Daddy's eyes. But that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about and converse with one of the great comics, one of the Dry Bar comics, also a great comic and a friend of ours, the very funny Brad Upton. Brad Upton, where is Brad Upton? There he is.
Lake Forest Park, Washington. That's Seattle. That's the suburbs of Seattle.
The Evergreen State.
The Evergreen State.
We're glad to have you. Brad Upton, everyone that knows Dry Bar also knows Brad Upton. Brad, you have a brand new special coming out on July 9th on the Dry Bar Comedy Plus app. You shot that special in May.
May 15th.
I was here for the shooting of that special, and it was absolutely amazing. This is Brad's second comedy special with Dry Bar.
Yeah, I had a great time. I was really happy with it that night when we taped it, and I was really happy with it. I think it's going to be terrific. And I've seen a couple of the clips last night and today. Very pleased. Really like it.
You could check out a couple of the clips right now on our Facebook page, the Dry Bar Facebook page, and also on the Dry Bar YouTube page. Those are just teasers. We're just letting people wet the beak just a little bit until they can check out the whole special.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You know what I was just noticing? Look at you and me, how physically we look alike.
Well, there's some similarities. I will tell you, I did trim up the whiskers
what I'm
just a little bit.
trying to say is you're a very handsome man, Keith. Very handsome man.
You're very, very kind, Brad.
Yeah.
Now, Brad, let's get to it. Let's get to the bottom of it. You've had a lot happening in your life recently with health issues. If you'd like to talk about those just a little bit, you don't really need to go into any kind of detail. But I was thrilled that you could come back and shoot your Dry Bar special in May, your second Dry Bar special.
Well, I know I talked to you. I told you I was having all these health issues, and you said just come down. If you can't go, you can't go. You know how it is performing. You play hurt sometimes. You got to go on. So, and I thought I can get through this. I did not realize how sick I was at the time. I mean, I knew something was wrong, but I had nothing diagnosed at that point. And so I did the show that night, and then I went back to my room. I never told you this. That night I went back to my room. I hadn't eaten all day, and I ate some. I went for the real good nutrition. I had a cup of noodles, and then I threw that up, and then coughed all night.
Oh man, that's brutal.
That was after the show, yeah. And I've told people nobody watching the special can tell I'm sick. I was fine. It's the adrenaline. You get on stage and you perform and you feel good while you're performing, and then you walk off, and then I think I was 15 days away from a heart attack.
So wait a second. So at that point, you had some health concerns, and you insisted that you would come out and shoot the Dry Bar special. And right. Let it be known, I was like, okay, you don't have to come do it if you're not feeling it, man. I know that you want this to come out right, which you absolutely murdered, which I was glad to see. But then after that, you had a heart attack?
On Memorial Day. I had a heart attack on Memorial Day. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Nobody more surprised than me, because you know me, you've known me for 25 years. I'm very fit. I stay
yes,
fit.
You are.
I've been fit my entire life. So when it started to happen, I'm like, well, this can't be a heart attack. I can't have a heart attack. I don't have it. So I walked it off for a couple hours, and then tried to walk it off for a while. And then I was like, no, something's wrong. And I was in bad pain and ended up going to the hospital. And my artery, my right aortic artery, is that what it's called? Right. Anyway, it was 100% blocked, and I took 3 stents, and then they sent me home 3 days later, and then I came back to the hospital. I thought I was having another heart attack, and the doctors go, well, you're all full of blood clots. You can't be full of blood clots because you're on blood thinners. So they started digging into stuff, and then they diagnosed me about 4 days later with a very rare autoimmune disease that only 3 adults per million get diagnosed with it. So then they put me on all this stuff to kill all these white blood cells. And anyway, I was in the hospital for 8 days, and now I'm out. The medicine is doing terrific. I feel like $1 million. I feel the best I have in over a year. All these things I've been treating with over-the-counter medicines were related. I just thought I had allergies. I thought I had indigestion. I thought I had asthma. And I was just taking Allegra and Tums, and that wasn't the problem. Ooh. So now I'm on these much stronger medicines, and I'm fine. I feel great. And August, I'm going to go out and start working again, and then hit the road again. I feel great right now.
So you paused your schedule. You said, you know what, I got to take care of my health, which I think is the smart thing to do. And of course, we were all very, very concerned for your health, especially knowing how fit you are, that you coach track, you run, you've been in great shape for so many years. And to have this to happen, that's just frightening. But so now, are you resuming your schedule in August and going to begin touring again?
Yes, exactly. It's exactly right. Yeah, I'm immunocompromised for another couple of weeks. While I'm on this medicine, and then should be fine. It's manageable. There's no cure for this thing, but it should be manageable. They say you keep your meds in you should be fine. Wow. So I'm going to be back out. The last time I was on stage was when I taped that special. That's the last time I stepped on stage.
And I can't wait for everyone to see the Dry Bar special. I was here to see it live, and I was blown away. I mean, you absolutely nailed it. And I can tell you, I was a little concerned. I mean, we spoke on the phone, and I talked to you before you went on stage, and it was like, man. But, you know, there is a true thing about adrenaline. You're a performer. You're professional. Sometimes you have to somehow put it aside and then let it rip, which is exactly what you did.
Well, you know what I remember, too? Right before the curtains open, I'm standing backstage, and the curtains are open. My introduction, I go, oh, I got a full cough drop in my mouth. I was like, oh, crap. So I just shoot it as I walked toward the mic. And I just had I've never walked on stage with a cough drop in my mouth. And then I had that sticky cough drop stuff all over my mouth the whole show. But yeah, and then I felt great while I was performing. I knew I would. You've done shows where you've had a fever or something, and you feel okay while you're performing, and then you walk off and you're like, oh yeah, I'm sick. That's how I was that night. But
and you know,
I had a blast.
When you're not feeling well, or if you have a personal issue, having done this as long as I have, not as well as you, but I've done it a long time, the audience doesn't really, this sounds horrible, they don't care. They don't care if you're not feeling well. They don't care if you have a personal issue. You still have to deliver, and obviously you're a pro and you know that.
No, that's exactly right. Because if you explain to the audience, you try and be serious with them and tell them what's going on. They think it's a setup for a bit.
Right.
You know, if you say, oh, I feel bad, I've been coughing, they're like, okay, where's this joke going? You're like, no, this is actually what. So they don't care. And it's hard to explain from stage because they think they're being had. And I don't blame them. I would too. I wouldn't trust me.
Well, let's talk about Johnny Mathis. I love the fact that you've opened for Johnny Mathis, Grammy Award-winning Johnny Mathis, legend Johnny Mathis. You've done that for, how long have you been working with him?
Almost 15 years. It'll be 15 years in October.
And how did that come about? Was it just a random gig you got booked on, and then you guys hit it off?
Well, I knew the comedian who I replaced, and I knew his agent, and I kept telling her, hey, if this ever comes up where he's not available, I'd love to, because I've been a fan of Johnny Mathis. And it turns out they were trying to look to replace him, and so they tried me one night, and I've been with him ever since. That's
great. You have a favorite Johnny Mathis song?
Oh my Lord! Oh, all of them. You know what? A couple of his Christmas songs. I love his Christmas songs because he's Mr. Christmas anyway. The Christmas song, I love his version of that. He sings Yesterday in his concert. You know, Paul McCartney's Yesterday. It's a beautiful version of that. You're like, oh man. And you know what's interesting about the Mathis gig is I actually go up in the middle of the show. He comes out and sings for 40 minutes, and then he introduces me. I do 25 minutes, and then we go to intermission, and then he comes back and sings the middle of the second half of the show. So I actually go up in the middle of the show, and it's really smart. It's a cool way to do the concert too. Plus,
so when you go back, do you close the show as well, or is it just does he close the show?
We go out and take bows together at the end, but he closes the show. And you know, here's the other thing: his audience is 100 years old. They kind of need to be woke up in the middle of the concert. Anyway.
That is smart. That is smart.
Yeah.
I still love my favorite my favorite Johnny Mathis song is Misty still.
Oh,
I still.
And he hits that high note. He's 87 years old. You know, he does that really high note. He hits it every single time.
Yeah. Look,
it's unbelievable.
At me.
Yep.
Yeah. Has he ever asked you to sing along with him?
Oh no. He's played around in rehearsal. In rehearsal, he says, come up, sing with me. I just look at him like, you're nuts. I'm not going to sing in front of Johnny Mathis.
Okay, this is Keith Stubbs. That's my name. I have the lowest performing dry bar special in the history of dry bar. And with me is comedian Brad Upton with the highest performing special on dry bar. Absolutely killing it. Been doing comedy 30 years? How long have you been at it?
36 since I quit teaching 4th grade.
So you said, I'm going to do this thing, pursue my dream. And at what point did you go, you know what, I think I can actually do this? Or were you like, oh man, what am I putting myself through and my family as well?
I actually, before I quit teaching, I worked with a couple of guys in a competition, and they were doing comedy full time. And I thought, I think I'm as good as those guys. They're working all the time. And
Right.
you know, when I quit teaching, the plan was I'll take a year off from the school district. If it doesn't work, then I can go back and teach school. And you know, it worked. I never went back. So it didn't take me long to make more money in comedy than it was teaching school, because you know, I was teaching school. It wasn't a high paying job. I've been doing it ever since.
I tell you, that's awesome.
Entertaining a room full of drunks and a bunch of 10-year-olds, it's the same skill set. There's no different. No different. Heckler's like an obnoxious 10-year-old.
Tell me about the Grand Ole Opry, because I think it's so exciting that you had a chance, and you've done several shows at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville.
Yeah, I made my debut there in September of 2019 because of the dry bar video. That's how I got on, is because I had contacted the guitar player. The head guitar player at the Grand Ole Opry is also Johnny Mathis's guitar player. So he gave me a recommendation to the woman that books the talent at the Grand Ole Opry. And so I emailed her and I said, hey, I got this video on, it's gone viral and it's got 75 million views. And, you know, I gave her my resume and she wrote back and she said, well, I happen to be one of those 75 million views. We'd love to have you on.
She knew who you were then?
Yeah, she saw my dry bar, that millennial video, and that's how I got on the Grand Ole Opry. And the first time I went out there, I did like a 13-minute set in front of about 4,000 people. And when I walked off that night, because they tell the audience he's doing something you only do once, he's making his debut at the Grand Ole Opry, so the audience is on your side. And anyway, and a lot of them had seen the video. So as I walked off after that 12 minutes, I walked over to the stage right into the darkness, and I said to my wife, I said, I don't think I've ever had a better set than that right there. And
That's exciting.
I just destroyed, and they've had me back now. Next time I go back will be my 15th time back there, and it's surreal to walk out on that stage and to step in that circle. It's surreal.
Who were some of the country artists that were at the Grand Ole Opry on your debut?
I'm trying to think. There was a bunch of old timers. Callie Shore was one of the new ones. I just had the poster out the other day. I was looking at it. You know the guy that sings Old Rocky Top, the 90-year-old guy that sings the anthem of Tennessee, Rocky Top, Tennessee. You know that song? It's like their anthem.
I know the song.
He's the guy. He's 90 years old. He's the guy that made that hit. I followed him. I'm like, how do I follow that guy at the Opry singing Rocky Top, Tennessee? I'm like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, because Rocky Top is, that's Tennessee. That's all about Tennessee.
It's the anthem, and it's the guy, the 90-year-old guy that wrote it and made it a hit. He was out there singing. That's what I followed, and I was like, I'm either going to die horribly, or it's going to go great. And that was nice.
That is so awesome. So you'll be going back again to the Grand Ole Opry, and of course you'll be working again with
September. I hope so. I just sent them some avails.
That's great. Are you doing cruise ships anymore?
No, I dropped them all for 2023. I have two in 2022. I have a couple in 2023. One of them that goes to Uruguay and Argentina. I kind of want to go do that. I've never been there in my life, so I might go do those. But my doctor, my cardiologist said, you know, being out on a cruise ship's not a great place to have a heart attack. I went, that's a good point. So, but I still like them. I do a couple a year if they're good itineraries.
There's some rough ones out there.
Again.
I know that cruise.
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with that one.
Long Beach to Ensenada and back. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the cruises when the boat goes out, you can still just look to your left and go, that's where we just were. Exactly. And then it kind of just comes back. You don't feel like you're really cruising because you still see California.
Yeah. I've done the ones where you leave San Diego and you go to Hawaii, but it's just 5 sea days. And so everybody goes, "Oh, you're sailing to Hawaii?" I go, "Yeah." And the moment we dock, I walk down the gangway and they drive me to the airport and I fly home. I'm in Hawaii about an hour.
God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
His name is Brad Upton. He's a comedian. He's one of our absolute favorites. Now, one thing that many people don't know that we're going to acknowledge right now is that when Brad was here in May to tape his second Dry Bar comedy special, which once again is amazing. You can check it out in its entirety on July 9th on Dry Bar Comedy Plus. He was also awarded the first ever Dry Bar Hall of Fame. And which is so deserving. We've had so many great comics perform Dry Bar specials, but really, Brad has just been so amazing. There it is. There
Right
it
there.
is.
It was over on my shelf. I had to go get it right there.
That is awesome. But yes, we presented him that award for the first member of the Dry Bar Comedy Hall of Fame, which is once again very much deserved.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. I mean, the stuff that I've gotten and brought to me from Dry Bar has been amazing. The amount of people that have been exposed to me because of Dry Bar is just, it's really been amazing to me. Because, I've been doing this forever, 34 years. It's so funny, too. All these people on Dry Bar that have found me think I'm a new comic. They think I just got started like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. I've been around for a long time. You just found me by now. That's the beauty of the internet and Dry Bars. Just find, there's a lot of great comics out here, and you guys finally exposed the America to a whole bunch of them, and they've gotten wildly popular.
Yeah, can I tell you, that's one of the most rewarding things for me personally as a comic who's done it a long time. And I toured and I did every crappy gig out there when I toured, but I would see so many talented comedians, and you'd watch TV, and people at that time, all they would see was whoever's on TV was who was going to pop and make it next.
Right,
It was Tonight Show, it was Comedy Central, and that was it. And if you didn't do those gigs, then you were out on the road just trying to piece together a career. But
Exactly.
Dry Bar, once again, it is so awesome to me to see so many talented comedians that people haven't heard of. And I get calls from agents, Brad, saying, "So who's hot? Who's happening? What's going on?"
Right.
And I'll say, Brad Upton, Jeff Allen, and I'll name off 15 names of people like, "Well, who are they?" I said, "They are great. These are people that you guys, for whatever reason, you overlooked or you missed them or just the timing didn't work out, whatever it was." And it's just been so awesome to see the results of some of this for so many great comics.
Well, I've known Leanne Morgan for like 18 years, and I've known Leanne, and we're dear friends. And when I first met her, I went, "This gal's great. She's going to be a big star. She's huge." This is 18 years ago, and I told her, "You're going to be a big deal. You're going to be a big deal." She's similar in we never went to LA or New York. She stayed in her town where she started, raised her family. I did the same thing. Jeff Allen never moved to LA or New York. He stayed in the Midwest, raised his family. And then after Leanne, obviously Leanne just exploded. I mean, she's playing arenas right now. And I'm not surprised at all. When I found out, I was like, she's that good. She's always been that good. And that's not an act. That's not a character. Leanne is Leanne. That's who she is right there. She's not playing a character. That's Leanne. She's sweet and kind and a great act. Just hysterically funny.
I think a lot of people are surprised to see some of the talent we have at Dry Bar. And that, once again, it's not to our credit. I mean, our credit, I guess, is the fact that we're giving them a platform. But man, the comics are absolutely funny. They're road tested. They've been all over the place. They played in horrible circumstances and great ones too. And so they're tough. They're good. They're solid. And once again, people are like, "I've never heard of this person." It's like, well, you will. And we're hopefully going to be able to give people that platform to be seen, the comics.
Well, it's funny, too, when people discover me and they'll say, "Oh, I can't wait till you come to Kansas City. You're so good." And I'm like, I've been coming to Kansas City for 30 years. I've been there twice a year for the last 30 years. I don't know where you guys were, but that's, I get that all the time. Yeah, I've been out there forever.
That's great. Brad Upton is his name. His second Dry Bar comedy special is coming out on July 9th. That's a week from... whatever it is. It's a week from July 2nd.
July 2nd, yeah. That's
whatever that is. But in the meantime, I don't have a calendar. Man, I'm winging this thing, as you can tell. I do have a new shirt, though. I just want you to know. I wore this new shirt for this event.
This is the actual shirt I wore on stage during the taping, right here.
Yeah, that's so
I knew
awesome.
I could get a free T-shirt out of you somehow.
Well, do yourself a favor, check out Facebook, the Dry Bar Facebook, also our YouTube page, and check out a teasers. There's a couple of tastes, a couple of small bits that Brad did at his comedy special taping here at Dry Bar. Check those out right now, Facebook, also on YouTube. In the meantime, July 9th, Brad Upton, feeling good, looking great.
I look great, don't I? Yeah. Oh, I do. I've been walking like 12,000 steps a day in the last 10 days. I feel great. I'm ready to go.
That's great. Well, Brad, I'll be coming up to Seattle in August. We need to go see a Mariner game.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah,
We'll be
for
back
sure.
in the hunt by then. We're going to be in the hunt by then. We're
That's
gonna get
right.
hot and get back in the hunt.
And we'd love to have you come down and perform here again at our Dry Bar location.
Love to.
All right. Brad Upton is his name. Brad, how do people get a hold of you? How do they follow you? We recommend, once again, going to our Dry Bar Facebook page, also our Instagram and our YouTube page. But Brad, tell people how to connect
Yeah,
with
if
you.
you just go to Facebook and just put Brad Upton fan page on Facebook, that's the best way. I post all my shows. I put the posters up. I tell people when I'm coming. And then they miss the show and they go, oh, tell me when you're going to be in Dallas. And I'm like, I was there last week. Last week.
Yes.
But yeah, if you follow my fan page, I post all my dates on there. And then
you know
they can
what's
follow me there.
You know, it's another thing that happens with they go, hey, when are you going to be in Dallas? I'm here now. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
can't make it. I can't make it now. It's like, okay, well, I'm here now. I'm right here. You can come see me.
Or not on a Wednesday. I'm like, well,
Right. That's where I am.
yeah, I'm the same. They're like, well, if you do it on a Saturday night at 7, well, they won't give me the whole room on Saturday night at 7.
All right.
Yeah.
So Brad, what do you have planned in August as far as you say you're going to go back on the road? Do you have anything you want to promote?
Well, I have a couple of soft landings. I'm doing some one-nighters around Seattle because I've been on. That'll be 3 months off stage. So I got to get on
yeah.
stage, a couple of one-nighters around here, do a couple of bar gigs, get my legs under me, and then I have a couple of Mathis dates in late August back in Pennsylvania, New York, and then September I'll be back on the road again.
That's great. Brad Upton is his name. He's a great comic, a great friend, a great ally with Dry Bar Comedy. Of course, Hall of Famer Brad Upton. You got it again? Can you show everyone again? There we are right there. Brad Upton, Hall of Famer. Thanks so much, Brad, for taking the time to be with us. The best to you and your family, buddy. And
Thank you, Keith.
we're so glad.
And
we're glad you're
also
doing better.
All the people that have written to me that know me from Dry Bar and the nicest, kindest prayers and thoughts and things they've said to me, it's overwhelming.
Thank you so much, Brad. God bless you, buddy. And we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Keith. Appreciate it.